way to downtown Salt Lake City. This is City Creek Center, their big midtown shopping area. It is beautiful, really nice. You can see over there, there is the Mormon temple in the distance. They're doing construction there, but we'll probably walk by there in just a few minutes. Just thought I'd show you a brief overview of this. Really nice. This is just a beautiful center. You can see there are places to stay along here, hotels, businesses, and it may even be apartments and living here as well. But absolutely beautiful place to walk around. Looking at some of the shops here, there's Tiffany up there and Louis Vuitton. So definitely an upscale place, but really, really nice. Sort of a mix of old style buildings and newer architecture. I don't know if these are really old buildings or they're just made to look that way. But in either case, what a pleasant place to stroll around. So here's a look at the main Mormon temple. Unfortunately, it is under refurbishment, so we can't get a really good look at it. Not that you can tour around in there, at least that I know of. But I did read about that it's going through a long, extensive and much needed refurbishment. Here we look around downtown Salt Lake City. One thing I notice around here is a very concentrated area of what would be the downtown. And the last major city that I've been in, since we haven't gone up to Los Angeles recently, is Chicago. So quite a difference. Probably the tallest building here is more akin to the shortest building in downtown Chicago. And also in the distance, it might be a little hard to see, but you know, there are hills and mountains just right around the area here. It's pretty. So we're walking right next to the City Creek Center. Across the way there is the Utah Museum of Contemporary Art. And up ahead here is the Convention Center. So we're gonna head across the street here to the Salt Palace. This is the Convention Center. And out front here, they have this collection of all these signs with all these sayings on them. So go get a closer look at that. Okay, here are all these signs here. And in the center here, you can read "You are here." But these are all like street signs, not really. But I guess it's just a sort of an art piece. I like this one. Chicken or egg, break and fix, work and play. I'm definitely for play, not as much for work. Tomato or tomato. This is really neat. I like this a lot. Yeah, so looking around the city here, this is it as far as really tall buildings go. I really like it. And we're here. It's Tuesday about 12:30 and fairly quiet and somewhat peaceful, really. We're gonna head back into City Creek, the shopping area, and take a look around there for a little bit. We're on one of the bridges, the covered bridges that goes between the main area of shopping and the food court. You can see their trolley system, very nice. I don't know how far down that goes. It may go down to Ogden. I really don't know that. I know there is a light rail system that does. It's looking the other way. And you can see the temple again under refurbishment. So we're gonna make our way into this other section of the City Creek Center. This place is huge and has a lot of shops. Very nice. So Obviously it's covered because they get snow here during the winter, so you've got a covered area to walk around and go shopping. But then underneath here, bottom floor, a nice little stream and gardens. Then we're making our way to the food court. This is like the I guess this would be the eastern end of the mall. See all the buildings in the area. We're gonna get a little bite to eat and then head out. We'll be down this area a little bit later in the evening for a ghost tour. Well, good evening, folks. We are in the middle of Salt Lake City once again. We are downtown. This time we're at the Gallivan Center, and this is just a couple blocks down from the City Creek Center where we were earlier today. And the reason that we're here is because we are going to be going on another ghost tour. That's right. So we're going to hook up with that in just a few minutes. So we got here a little early, take a look around, and very nice center. So here are some of the buildings surrounding the center. There's a little park here. There is a big band playing right now. They're inside that door there, which actually becomes a stage. And it looks like it's a big swing dance event going on. I don't know if it's a competition or what, but this is really kind of cool to see. This is really neat. So we're standing on a little bridge here because this is where we meet the ghost tour. And I didn't expect some entertainment as we're waiting for it to start. Let's look a little bit. So as we're walking around waiting for our tour, we came across this big skating rink here. I'm sure during the winter it's set up for ice skating. That would just make sense, but this is nice. Anybody can come down here and with your skates, skate around, have some fun. I don't know if they allow skateboards. I don't think so. I think it's just simply skates. You can see it's also kind of lined out there for whatever sports that might be. It could be volleyball or maybe even a pickleball, a little too small for tennis. And then just beyond there is the stage where they're playing the music and the people are dancing. So yes, obviously during the wintertime this becomes ice skating rink, and we're just right inside here. It turns out this building here, besides having restrooms, and that's where we popped in, down at the other end of the hall there, you can rent skates, and I'm sure during the winter you can rent ice skates, so you don't even need to bring your own. Very cool.
Isabella, and I will be your tour guide for tonight. So to start off, I always do just kind of like a brief little history on the Salt Lake Valley itself. So where we stand today was once completely underwater. And so this huge body of water was called Lake Bonneville, and it was around 10,000 to 30,000 years ago. So eventually a natural dam would break, slowly draining this huge lake, leaving what is now the Great Salt Lake. And so the only way water leaves the Great Salt Lake is through evaporation, which it is slowly but surely doing. So if you're out of town, I always say, when you get a chance to go up in the canyon, look down onto the valley, and it's literally like a huge bowl, and that's because of Lake Bonneville. So the first known people to be in the valley were the Native Americans. There were a few different main tribes, but for quite some time, no one would necessarily want to travel here to Salt Lake to start building big structures and all that, just due to the harsh desert terrain, and also it is still kind of in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Do a little heads up, this one's pretty harsh. So our story starts with a man by the name of Emmanuel David. So originally, Emmanuel came to Salt Lake to join the LDS Church. but Emmanuel had a few beliefs of his own. So Emmanuel believed he was God, he was a modern day Messiah, Salt Lake was going to burst into flames, and he would rise and take all his followers to his heavenly kingdom. So the Perry Hotel was built at the very beginning of the 1900s. Back then the hotel business was an extra good business to be in because people were traveling to Salt Lake to settle, and those that could afford it wanted a place to stay when they arrived here. But considering people were making this harsh journey by foot or wagon over to the valley, there was a lot of death. Out of curiosity, I looked up the leading cause of death for Utah pioneers, and I thought it would be like illness, something like that, but it's actually getting ran over by a horse. So those were really tough times to be alive. Yeah, I was not expecting that.
So we're walking to our next destination in the ghost tour. What I wanted to point out is here we are Tuesday evening in downtown Salt Lake City. Oh, it's about 8:30 right now. And just take a look how relatively peaceful it is. Few cars on the road. This is just kind of amazing to me to see a city like this. And even our tour guide was pointing out how clean this city is. It is amazing. She was telling us she went away and lived in Portland, Oregon for a short time and came back here. And, you know, she realized all over again how clean this city is. I mean, when I'm looking around here, the best way to describe it, it is Disneyland clean. Seriously, it is amazing. This is the heart of the city, and it is just so very clean.
All right, so this is the Judge Building. It was built in the very beginning of the 1900s. And originally, this building held real estate offices and railroad offices. So, for the time, this building was just so taboo because of how fancy it was. I mean, it's still very luxurious. But this was actually the first building with elevators in Salt Lake, which is pretty awesome. And the marble was like imported from Europe, so people just wanted to come to this building just to stare at it in awe. But the real reason we stopped here is because in 1985, a true crime drama started inside this building.
So we just ended our ghost tour, walking around downtown Salt Lake City. I thought it was pretty good. What did you think, hon?
I thought it was good. I like St. George better.
Yeah, I like the St. George. Actually, the guy who did the St. George one, I thought was a really good storyteller. This one seemed to be a little bit more about stories about the different buildings and the history of downtown Salt Lake with a sort of a ghost story twist to them all. But that was kind of fun to learn about it. So it was great. You know, it's called, if you go online, Salt Lake City Ghost Tours. It's put on by U.S. Ghost Tours, so if you go on their website, you'll be able to find it. So we've made it to the Timbermine Steaks and Seafood. This is up in the hills of Ogden, Utah. And Joanne has gone to here once before and thought it was a really fun place to go. Kind of reminds me of the Orange County Mining Company in Orange. So let's go in and take a look around and have dinner. All right, looking around in the entrance here, they got all the ore cars. Yeah, this does remind me of the Orange County Mining Company. Oh, wow. Hey, we're walking in here. Very cool. Mannequin playing the piano. Got some cow heads on the wall, not real ones, of course. All right, this looks really neat. I'm gonna walk around in here. And up on the mantle here is a train and a moose head. And this is something that Joanne told me about. They have these, kind of like these bathtubs, and they have little dioramas in here. Those are all seashells. Let's take a look at the one over here. Just a whole bunch of different kind of artifact. Oh, it's keychains. That's what it is. Really cool. And love this one. It's a little model railroad of a mining town. Very cool. I like this already. And one more to take a look at here. Oh, they're Pez dispensers. Look at that. Wow. What a cool place. So we put our name in and gonna go have dinner. So we walk back through our table. This gives me Knott's Berry Farm log ride vibes. Look at that. So this is the booth that we're gonna be at. This place is really cool. Looking forward to eating.
Hi, can I get you guys a drink from the bar?
All right, here's a quick look at the menu here. All kinds of steaks. They have seafood. Appetizers are deep fried mushrooms. That looks pretty good. But I think I am sticking with a New York steak. Looks good. And we got some bread and butter to start. We ordered our food, so I thought I'd just do a quick little walk around here. This is the bar area with hundreds and hundreds of little farmer bottles of alcohol and some of these collectibles. I mean, you can come in here and just stand in here for a while, even if you didn't come up here and eat, and just look at all the artifacts they have here. Very cool. Up in the bar, all different kinds of taps of different makes of beers and other things. And over in here, I don't want to go in here, but this is the banquet room that they're setting up for an occasion. It's probably a great place to have your Thanksgiving or Christmas event. This is just a side room. It looks like this would be, it's right next to the banquet room. Antler, or a tree made of antlers. Some more miniature alcohol bottles. Old sewing machine. Okay, that's all dark back there, not in use today. I think that's just probably another dining room. All kinds of miniature dolls. Mining artifacts. Old wash tubs. And some old typewriters. Here's an old, I don't know if this would be a gramophone or not, but definitely probably like about, oh, I don't know, 1920s or 1930s record player. Here's another look of the center area in between the tables. It reminds me of Knott's Berry Farm, of either the Calico Mine Train or the log ride. There's Joanne over there, waiting in our booth. Mining there, gold panning. Very cool. I really like this place. All right, gonna go back to our table. Our food should be coming up soon, so time to eat. So here is what we got. I got the New York. I opted for the 12 ounce, which this looks larger to tell you the truth. And then Joanne got the filet, which is looking pretty good too. All right, very good. Bacon wrap filet. And we both got baked potatoes, and we already finished our salad. So, all right, we're gonna dig in. Well, we finished our dinner at the Timbermine restaurant, and it was fantastic, right?
It was really good.
It was really good. Leftovers. That's the one thing I'll tell you. Even getting the smaller cuts of meat, the portions were huge. They were excellent. I highly recommend this place. It's great for the family for sure. So if you're in this area, got to drive up in the hills a little bit above Ogden, but it was well worth it. There's also Other things to do up here, there's Dinosaur Park and Rainbow Gardens, which are all in this area. We didn't get a chance to see those on this trip. Maybe another time, but highly recommend it.